what does the future hold for the northern Everglades? Vast tracts of uninterrupted land are vital for the survival of endangered and threatened species, and here lies the challenge ahead. Not just to protect land, but connect it, to create conservation corridors. Accomplishing this requires a new way of thinking about preserving the Kissimmee Basin and the rest of the Everglades.
The Everglades Headwaters National Wildlife Conservation Area fits into the conservation era that we find ourselves in today. Private landowners, especially the ranching community, has taken it upon themselves to preserve their way of life. They want their next generation and following generations to be able to believe and live off the land as their fathers and mothers did before them. With the headwaters of the Everglades essentially protected, we would be adding significant protection to the water supply that is so important to what is one of the most important conservation projects in our world today.
Everglades Headwaters National Wildlife Refuge is an opportunity for us to help preserve an important part of Florida's natural heritage.
There's all kinds of Florida ranchers, because there's some of them that just bought an investment land and he's running cattle on it. And then there's a rancher, the pioneer ranchers, that's been in it from generation to generation, and they have a love for the land and they care for the wildlife.
It is in society's best interest that we maintain a vibrant, robust, prosperous agriculture industry, not just because it gives us food independence in a world where we're dependent on others for our fuel, but because of all of the social and environmental benefits that that land being kept out of development provides every one of us.
But here's a unique situation where we could have it both ways. You didn't have to spend all the taxpayer money in order to acquire the title to the land, but you could sure acquire a portion of the land, its development rights, and still let the ranching families continue in their way of life that they had enjoyed for generations.
Lately there has been more environmental meetings that we try to participate in, and I believe that's a lot of people's trying to keep the ranch together.
Nature Conservancy, as well as the Cattlemen's Association, and a lot of folks are concerned about sort of general central Florida, either from a ranching perspective, a water perspective, a military perspective.
What makes Avon Park unique is the amount of territory, amount of acreage that we have, and the associated airspace that we have with it. That's in a relatively rural part of the state of Florida, and that allows us to conduct our missions with minimal impact on the surrounding local communities.
And you have a management plan that allows our children, our grandchildren, and many generations to come to be able to fall in love with the environment, be introduced to it. That's the future.